Hey guys, welcome back to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel. I'm your host. Today I'm going to be on here talking to you about a hot topic, Monique. She's a comedian. I don't know if you say comedian or comic, because some people say it differently. But anyway, she's a comedian. She's a black comedian. She also has an Oscar for that movie Monster, I believe. No, hold on, wait, it wasn't Monster. Precious. Sorry, it was called Precious. That movie, ooh, Jesus, it really bothered me mostly because I mean, obviously everything that happened in the movie to Precious, but how well of a actress uh, Monique is, right? How well she was able to execute that part, right? It was so like, oh my god, like she knew or was familiar with it. That's what I got at the time, and that was I don't know, 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. Um, it's called Precious, and that's when Monique won her Oscar. Um, so today we're gonna talk about that movie. Primarily was about this young lady named Precious. She was very overweight. You've probably seen it if you haven't. It's a really watch it. It's a good movie. But it basically portrays a young lady who I feel like she's like maybe 16, 17 years old. In high school, she's very overweight. Her mom is Monique, or played by Monique, and her mom is beyond terrible, right? Just beyond terrible. She treated her poorly. She did all kinds of terrible things to her own daughter. It was just terrible, you know. And for that performance, she got an Oscar. So to me, the irony is today, I'm coming on here to talk to you guys about what's kind of been brewing for, I feel like, 2 or 3 days now, maybe. This might be the third day. So there's this guy, Shannon Sharp. He's an ex football player who I actually like him. You know, I really like him. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. I liked him on that one show he had with some white guy. I think it's like a sports commentator or something on what channel was that? I think ESPN or something. Anyways, I always liked him. I always felt like I always liked him. I always felt like he had charisma. He was likable. Anywho, so if you're just joining us again, thank you for coming for subscribing, liking our videos, hitting the notification button. Thank you for being here in Chanel's Reality. I mostly talk celebrity news, hot topics, and reality TV. That's one of my favorite pastimes is to watch people on reality TV. Um, so I decided to create a YouTube channel called Chanel's Reality. So thank you guys for coming by and hanging out with me. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about Monique because the irony to me is that Monique played a terrible mom, a really horrific mother on this movie that won her an Oscar called Precious. So she did that on the Shannon Sharp. I think it's called Club Shay Shay. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. He has Club Shay Shay. It's a YouTube channel. He's really been, he's been getting the right people. Cat Williams came out, exposed everybody about a week or two ago, and it was everything. I was here for it. I was here for it because all of it felt truthful in my gut, and I can spot a liar typically. So today, like I said, we're gonna talk a little bit about Monique. Not so much about her as it is her eldest son's response to her interview that she did with Shannon Sharp. So I'm just gonna play a little bit of the video, or the audio rather, and let you guys listen to what his response is to his mom's interview. You should watch the Shannon Sharp interview, and then if you haven't heard this already, it's making its rounds around the internet. So let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and try to play it for you guys. Turn it up. Hopefully everybody can hear.
Hi, I am Shalon. I am a stand-up comedian, Monique's oldest son. I guess I felt the need to make this video to just provide some context into this false narrative about her praying to the universe in order to reconcile our relationship or whatever the hell it is. I wrote it all down so that way I don't go all over the place and get emotional or anything like that. So I'm gonna talk like I'm reading a script, but it's just gonna help me kind of stay together. But to address the Club Shay interview that she did, where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son. Neither one of us has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time, and I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths. Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. But responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering, well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated that they have 3 sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the 4th son in a video that has millions of views, that rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically. But to take it a step further, you also admit, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do, which would also make one begin to question, all of your past decisions and prior emotional interactions. But to be completely honest and fair, those were things that I was willing to get over. Nobody's perfect, we're all human, but my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things. My mother does a fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well, and anything that she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though, her interest in being a mother probably started around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate, I guess you could say. There are now 2 baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still during that time, however, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own. To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life. In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him holds no weight. There are still women to this day that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them. Every time, though, that my mother would state that she was right here whenever I was ready, that ideology still blows my mind today, that a person could openly admit to being an uninterested, not put my best foot forward type of parent, and be so self-centered that they still express to the kid, you have to come to me when you're ready. You got to come to me for us to make this right. Okay. But I'm not sure what my mother could possibly think that she has shown me in the past or have for me now that's not money, goodness gracious, that would make me want to come to her, or whatever those feelings are supposed to be. A mother is supposed to be the first woman that a boy falls in love with. I loved my mother very much, but my mother loved things more than she loved me, and she would validate her love for me by giving me things, and would proceed to call me ungrateful or inconsiderate if said things did not have the desired effect. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be her, though, to ask God for what you want, and then he gives you what you need, though, only for you to ignore it and have the audacity to ask God for something else. And I'm glad I'm glad I didn't do that. And when you told you no, you went to the universe instead. By no means, though, do I want to give off any type of an impression that I am a victim of anything.
I want to replay that part.
To call me ungrateful or inconsiderate if said things did not have the desired effect. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be her, though, to ask God for what you want, and then he gives you what you need, though, only for you to ignore it and have the audacity to ask God for something else. Ooh. And I'm glad I don't. I'm glad I didn't do that. And when you told you no, you went to the universe instead. By no means, though, do I want to give off any type of an impression that I am a victim of anything. That is not the case. As you can see, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm a dad. I'm healthy, I think. I drink a lot of water. I'm getting over a cold now. I still have my days just like everybody else. And, there were a few things that she did teach me along the way. I did learn how not to love from my mother. I also learned to make sure that I never lose so much of who I am that I have to validate it through another person. And though I feel as though, in hindsight, I think she did it reluctantly, I do appreciate my mother, for showing me what the top of the mountain looks like. You know what I'm saying? It did give me perspective on what hard work and dedication can get you, but I don't want something like that at the cost of giving up something that I created.
Ooh, Jesus.
I feel that was enough.
Child. Shout out to Sherelle's World. Listen. I can't. I'm just like, listen, where does one begin? Where does one begin? It's just, I will say this. Guys, I've always said, I'm a social worker and a therapist, but I've been working with people who are, I would say maybe, forgotten angels, or people who have major struggles in life. People who are orphans, or people who have, parents that I've worked for many years with child protective services, child welfare, the court systems, all that. So I know very well, the demons people deal with, because their loved ones, or the people they love, their parents, and whomever else, boyfriend, husband, whoever it is, that for whatever reason was void of love to give to them, or didn't know how to express it, whatever it is, right? Everybody has a story. Like I was saying yesterday, everybody has trauma, and you can't put a due date on when people can have trauma, how long they can have trauma. It's their trauma. Catch it. It's their trauma. Stop trying to tell people about timetables and you should be over it by now. You're a grown person. You can't keep complaining about whatever happened to you as a child. I say, view it this way, because people who say stuff like that, just apply that to your life, okay? Because you were able to do it. Everyone is different. Every single one of us is different. I could be a mother, and I could have 5 kids, and I pass away, right? All 5 of my children could all have a completely, very, very, very drastically different response to my passing. Why? Because all of the children are different. Even if they're adults, they're all different. And so they're going to have a different response. Everybody's wired differently. I'm wired to be, you know, living in luxury, living in luxury. But honestly, I'm wired to help others. That is the way I'm wired. It's the one thing that I could do every single day, and I never would get tired of it. Some people, they, have a response to, their mom's passing or whomever it is that passes, may be very stoic, cold, even. Some people may be what others may, describe as very dramatic, overly dramatic. Other people may not say much, they may not cry. Everybody deals with it differently. So, for all the people out here in the world running around telling their friends, family, mother, children, whomever else, that happened 30 years ago. It's their grief. And if it takes them to the last day that they die and they're still in their grief, you just be there to support them. I'm not saying enable someone. I'm saying if someone is having a hard time emotionally with whatever happened, just be there for them. They don't need you to condemn them or judge them or any of those things. And I'm not talking about someone that walks around every single day in victimhood. That's not what I'm speaking about. Most people, I think, viewing this probably knows what post-traumatic stress is, right? A lot of times people relate it to the military because it's just an easier, more visual or immediate visual that people can connect to, right? So the military um, warriors, they go out there and they put their life on the line for us, right? It takes a lot of courage because I'm not your girl. I'm gonna be a social worker and your therapist when you come back, but I'm not wired to go and lay down my life for others. I'm just not wired that way, and that's okay. That's why you have different people in the world. I'm also not wired to sit in the Oval Office and declare war. I wouldn't be able to live with myself, even if the war was necessary. I can't be directly connected to other people perishing away intentionally. So I know my space and my walk and my path, and that's not it. That's not my ministry. But I bring up the military regarding post-traumatic stress and regarding people telling others they should move on. If you had a son, a dad, an uncle, brother, sister, cousin, whomever, who went to the military, you know, witnessed heinous crimes that involved people not no longer being alive, being, physically, dismembered or whatever it is. Nobody in their right mind would go and tell the military vet that survived these horrible things they need to move on. We would be like, how dare you? Do you know what they did for this country? We'd be like, how dare you say that? That let them people live. They have put their life on the line. And anyone who would say that would be correct, right? But it doesn't matter that I didn't go and receive my trauma on a battlefield. Be clear. The mind is very much a battlefield. Catch it. It's very much a battlefield, right? The post-traumatic stress that those people come home with, and I'm speaking generally speaking, but when they come home and they return home and their mind can catch up to what actually they experienced, is when post-traumatic stress arrives. It's post the trauma, right? And so if I grow up in a world and, I'm being touched by my father or my mom's boyfriend or the creepy uncle that everybody keeps ignoring and allowing to come to everybody's birthday or wedding, let's talk about it. It's what it is, right? Or the moms who know that their daughters or sons are being touched and they stay with a man or vice versa, whatever it is. It's trauma. And you have to view those people who have that type of trauma, i.e. Monique's son. It's not the same exact trauma. I'm not saying the situation or the circumstances are the same. I'm saying trauma is trauma and it can't be measured. To do so is cruelty. To one-up someone with your trauma, that's cruel. Don't do that. Sit there, listen. If you can't sit there and listen, then just say, hey, listen, I love you. I'm just not the person that can do that for you. And that's understandable. But to condemn them or try to say that they're wrong or they need to move forward, they need to do this, that, and the third, you cannot tell people how to grieve. And if you wouldn't say that to some military veteran, then you shouldn't say it to your children, your teachers, your cousins, your friends, your husband, you shouldn't. You'd best be served with saying, "How can I help you? I'm here if you need me to listen. What can I do to assist?" That's the best way to help someone heal. Be there. Okay? That's the best way to do it. Because telling this young man, oh, he's 25 or 35, I don't even know how old he is, but telling him that he needs to move on, stop it. You can't tell someone to move on when life triggers you, right? You may have felt like you moved on, but that's exactly why they call it post-traumatic stress. You thought, listen, I made it through this terrible thing that happened overseas. And then you get home, and maybe 5 years later, maybe 10 months later, maybe 2 months later, you're hit with, oh my God, all these images and whatever else. And that's why I say triggers. People get triggered. You could have lost your mom 100 years ago, 35 years ago. Then you watch a movie about someone losing their mom. You get triggered. So anyways, I'm not going to go down that long path of being a therapist here on the internet right now. I know that's what I just did, but I'm going to move forward. Okay, so again, this is, my name's Chanel, and this is Chanel's Reality. Thank you if you're just now joining in for coming into my show. Please like the video, so, and like, share, and subscribe if you can, please. It's a free and easy way to support my channel. So I really appreciate it. And welcome. And like I said previously, on my channel, I call it Chanel's Reality mostly because my name is Chanel, but I love Chanel. That's where I got it from. And then I love reality TV. So why not have it be Chanel's Reality? I mean, that's where I'm living anyway. My husband lives in my reality too, just saying. But again, thank you guys for coming. And today we're talking about Monique. She did an interview on Shannon Sharp's channel. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. He is like an ex-football player, I believe, and he kind of crossed over and is a commentator now, has his own YouTube channel. And so he's doing really well for himself. You should go watch some of his videos. So Monique, hold on. Shannon Sharp interviewed Monique. She's a comedian. She's a black comedian. A few days ago, he interviewed her. And she talks a lot about who she is, where she is, and a whole bunch about, she explained a lot of, kind of what Cat Williams did, explained a lot about a lot. But Cat Williams is a totally different beast than what she was really talking about. But she was talking about her experiences, becoming a mom, not being there for her son, her older son, which that's what this video really is about. Chasing fame and not really wanting to be a mom when she was supposed to be one for her son, her oldest son. And, she talks about the unfairness of the entertainment industry, specifically as it relates to women in comedy. So like I said, go check out Shannon Sharp's video. So the reason I came on here and want to talk about it, because I've been avoiding this for a few days now, because I'm just like, ugh, I just don't feel like it. Like, not that I don't feel like coming on and doing my video. It's just, how something's coming, and you just, it's sort of like me and my husband went to Dubai about 2 years ago. And I remember we were over there probably like on day 7 or 8 that we were there. I kept seeing these pop-ups on my Instagram or, my feed, and it would say something about a mass firearm, people going to a school with a firearm and having and unaliving people. I have to say it that way because of YouTube. But in Uvalde, I believe. And that's in Texas. I don't know if the school was named Uvalde. I felt like it happened in El Paso though, but don't quote me on that. But anyways, it's not. It's about 6 hours from Houston, which is where I am. And I just knew it. I was just like, I know something terrible has happened, but I'm just in my bubble. I just want to be in my bubble over here with the people that clearly are my people, because they're all rolling around in Rolls Royces and G Wagons and listen. Maybachs or Maybots or whatever they're called. Listen, I was just like, why wasn't I born here? Anyways, but I remember thinking, I just want to wait until I'm off my vacation to know about the drama. I just want to be in my little bubble for now. And like I said, I got out and it was tragic. And that's kind of how I feel about some of these stories that I'm doing. Like, for instance, this one. I also, too, didn't want to just have a reason to hate Monique or dislike her, and I just felt it in my spirit. I'm like, I'm going to know all this stuff about her, and then I can't act like I don't. Once you know, you can't say you don't, So anyways, Let me know what you guys thought about her son and what he shared in that video that he posted. I don't know where he posted it. Maybe it's on his Instagram. I'm not sure where he posted it exactly. But let me know what you guys think. I felt like, listen, he read his mom for absolute filth in the most intellectual way possible. And listen, I salute him because, listen, I'm emotional, right? So I don't know that I would have got it that right. I mean, he didn't call her out of her name. He definitely put her in her place. Everything he said to me sounded 100% truthful and believable. Every single word. Every single word. The truth never needs explaining. It is. It doesn't. I mean, the way he read her, go back and re-listen to it. Um, when her son said, "Listen, this was for me." I'm like, I'm gonna write this down somewhere because I'm gonna use it. He said, "Standing in your truth." What did he say? Standing in your truth. What did he say? He said, "Standing in your truth does not make you noble." Catch it, okay? I caught it. I was like, whoa. That's why I said he read her for filth. He's like, and then he's so, I love it because it's direct, but it's definitely passive aggressive behavior. I love it because I'm kind of passive aggressive, right? I do things in my house that annoy people, like, so I don't like crumbs, right? And I'm just like, so, or things that are stale. I can't when people getting the cookies out of the cookie jar and then not closing it all the way to keep the, it bothers my soul. Okay. I also can't with the people who I'm gonna go get some Cheetos or some Doritos, but I'm just pouring them in my hand. I'm walking around the house with like a napkin. Don't you want a napkin? My husband be like, if I wanted a napkin, that's who I am. That's why I say everybody's wired differently. So, anyways, I know I can be annoying that way. But then again, I mean, I wouldn't be me. Just saying. And I like me. Be clear. She likes her. Okay. Get into it. I'm just saying. Yeah. So when he said standing in your truth does not make you noble, I was like, whoa, Jesus. Eating this lady alive, eating her for breakfast. Okay. Um, the thing that's interesting though to me, and like I said, I started my YouTube channel very recently. It's under a month that I've been on here, but um, I never knew. Listen, I was busy over here in Chanel's reality. Okay, just minding my business, but I never knew she had a son, Monique. So that's one thing. And I mean, I'm one person. I'm obviously not gonna know everything about everybody, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably one of the few people that probably didn't know she had a son. I did know she had twins because if you followed Monique's career, it started out with, from where I started. I'll say this much: from where I started, when I started listening to her on Def Comedy, wherever she was, it was like her specials were always about how she hates skinny bitches, right? And I was a child at the time, so I'm just like, okay, girl, whatever. But that was her shtick. You know what I mean? That was what she was kind of known for. She just would just like be relentless with the skinny people, because she wasn't skinny. Okay, and I get it. That's your thing. Do that, whatever. It's mean spirited and whatever. But they're comedians. They can do whatever they want. Um, and then I think at some point she met Daddy. That's the other thing where I feel like her son was clocking her. Like I think, probably went on that show, on Shannon Sharp's show, and said a few things, and he probably felt like, he being her son, her oldest son, he probably felt like, okay, you hit me, you slapped me with whatever this is, right? And he whacked her like with a whole baseball bat. That's what I feel like happened. Like she slapped him, probably unintentionally, but very. I feel like if you believe what he's saying about his mom, she was being passive aggressive too. She was being one of those people who says enough about how sorry she is, how she wishes she would have done things differently, blah 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 blah. But Now that she's grown, I've made some mistakes. I've apologized to my son, and whenever he's ready. Those are the type of manipulative things. And I'm not saying that Monique doesn't believe that. I'm not saying that because I don't know this lady from campaign. She might believe those things. Um, but I believe her son. I believe her son. And I believe people, I've said this before, some people can be well meaning morons. Like they mean well, they believe what they're saying, but their actions are just don't match it, you know? But some people are unaware. So they don't have self-awareness. People like Ramona, other people in the world, Donald Trump, just saying. Just there are people in your life that you'll meet and you're just like, this person has no clue of how they are received by others. And that's not to say you should change yourself to be, no, I'm saying you should be aware of yourself. But Monique talks about her daddy. Monique, are you cousins with Dr. Heavenly from Married to Medicine, sis? Let me know. Because both of them call their husbands daddy. It's bizarre. And listen, I'm not an idiot. I understand that it's kind of like daddy, but it's just also it's wrong. As much as it's wrong. Okay, in my opinion. So her son, if you go back and you re-listen to what her son said, because that wasn't the whole message or video that he did. That was a portion of it. But she's not self-aware, in my opinion, and I think she's maybe intentionally, maybe not intentionally, saying things to make it seem to the public that she's sorry for what happened. She can't change it. She was busy chasing money and chasing fame, and unfortunately her son suffered because that wasn't her focus. And her son is basically saying, I've never been your focus, let's be clear. That's what I heard him say. Sis, I ain't never been your focus. It's so tragic and very triggering for people. Because, I mean, what is it like to live a life? And I feel like it's adjacent to, all of us know, I feel like that one mom or one lady who had, stayed with this guy for 10 years, let's say. And he never married her. He swore he didn't want kids and this, that, and that. So he let her waste away all her juicy years, okay? All the juicy years. He let her waste all that away with him and his shenanigans. Talk about he don't want to have kids and he ain't ready to get married and he don't want to be forced into it and this, that, and the third. And listen, you should never have to force anybody to have a relationship with you. Be clear. Ever. They're non-message, they're non-talking to you, they're non-phone calls, they're non-messaging, they're non-stopping by, they're non-congratulating. All of those are those people's responses to how they feel about you. Be clear. They're all responding. They're just doing it silently. But it's a big ass response in my opinion. My opinion. So I feel like her son was saying, sis, this is what you're saying. But it's sort of like I said, that woman that struggles all those years trying to, hold him down and this, that, and the third, right? And being there and really releasing her dreams of having a family, having kids, being married because she loves him for whatever reason. Maybe for when he love bombed her at the very beginning of their relationship. Now all that's out the window, out the door, because that's what he did to get her. But he's not willing to do that to keep her. Just saying. So the trauma comes in though. Okay, so I'm over this dude. I'm saying I finally made it through, even though he took up he wasted all my juicy years, knowing he was never gonna marry me or want to have kids, whatever, right? And then you break up with that dude, and 2 years later, he's in some whirlwind love affair with girl Tanya or Keisha or Maria or Gabriella, whoever, up the street. They're planning their wedding date. The next 6 months, you find out after they get married, they're having twins. It's like, are you kidding me right now? And I'm not even that girl, because see, I'm the girl that I would pay you complete dust. Complete dust. You ain't ever got to hear about. You ain't ever got to worry about hearing them or seeing me ever again. Please understand. Um, because I'm just that girl. My ego's too big for that. But I'm saying that to say, I feel like that's kind of probably what Monique's son feels like. It's like it has to be terrible to know you have a whole mother. And I don't know where the father is. Maybe the father was in the life or whatever. But if he was anything like Monique, he can get it too. This message is for him as well. Um, I feel like the son was saying, listen, how he felt was, I am your son. I have been your only son for all of these years. All up and through when you did Queens of Comedy and got an Oscar and all this stuff, right? I was basically the son you had, the solo son. Now, I'm not sure if she had the twins after or before, but I feel like she had the twins before she got the Oscar. Um, but you got these kids over here, and it appears, right? Optics. It appears that you are here for these kids. You're around. You have time. Yeah, you got a few coins in the bank, which is what you were after. You're famous. You know Oprah, whatever it is, right? You, I'm certain there are moms out there that can relate to Monique. They gave their kids away to their grandma or the auntie, the sister, because they just either A, didn't want the kids, B, wasn't ever going to be a good parent to them, C, it's just not a good time. They wouldn't have been able to be the mother that they maybe possibly could have been or want to be. And I feel like Monique was just very straight up like, to your son, it's terrible. I don't think I could ever say that to my son or my child, but she basically is like, listen, I just wasn't there. I wasn't there. The thing is, you just gotta be humble and you have to do the work, Monique. You just do, and the work will be lifelong. This idea that okay, he should just get over it. I'm not getting over it. You're the adult, and I was the child in this situation. And although I'm an adult now, my emotions are what they are. So try to make it right. So it's to me, it's sort of like I tell some of my people, they have family problems, and they don't, someone's done something so heinous and never apologizes, and they ain't ever gonna apologize about whatever it is that they knew about or they allowed people to do to you, whatever it is, whatever the trauma was. And you're sitting around hoping that these people are going to apologize to you. It may never happen, but the problem is, the relationship is toxic. Whether it's your mom, your dad, your sister, your cousin, your ex baby, whatever, whoever it is, this relationship is toxic. But it's one of those dynamics in life where we don't know when the end will come. So we feel guilty, or we don't want to feel guilty. So we continue to allow this toxic person, people, whatever, to be in our lives. Because you don't want to feel guilt after they pass away suddenly, or whenever they pass away. You don't want to feel like, man, I lost all those years. So typically what I tell people to do is, when you can, one, forgive them. Forgiveness to me is releasing yourself from the anger associated with that trauma, with whatever it is that person did to you. You have to stop justifying why you can still be mad and should still be mad, because some of the things that you have to forgive people for are heinous. Like I said, like your mom not protecting you from the baby daddy or the father or the uncle or whoever it was, right? Her not believing you, or your daddy not being around, or your sister, whatever, still sleeping with your man, whatever it is, right? Those things are just like, that shit is unforgivable. And I get it. I understand it. But I also know the hard part is when those people are your family, blood, it's very difficult to say, well, I just am never gonna speak to them again. Like, you want to do that because you want to remove yourself from that trauma and that environment. You want to, but you also don't want to, if something, they could drop dead of a heart attack. You don't want to have that on your conscience. So I always tell people to listen, you can do whatever you want to do. I think start with forgiveness. Release yourself from the burdens of anger, because that's what unforgiveness is. You're burdening yourself with being angry at these people. So in order to release yourself, you need to forgive them. That does not mean you need to go and interact with these people every day, every month, or whatever. But I will say this, depending on the closeness or the proximity that person has, or access that they have to you. So for instance, if that person is your mom, in this case, that's this young man, Monique is his mom, or your dad or your sister, your child's father, whatever it is, you don't want to not ever see that person again. You don't want to feel that guilt when they leave or whatever. They're no longer alive. So I tell people, just move forward on your terms. What are my terms? My terms are, my grandma didn't come to my graduation, and so I never got over it. Okay? Why you wasn't there? So I never got over it. So these are my terms. I still love my grandma, and I know she's older, so she's probably going to pass away at some point in the next 20, 30 years, whatever it is, right? So this is the agreement I made with myself that I can live with. Once a month, I'll take me and my grandma after church. We'll go to Luby's. I'm paying. Go ahead and get you, a good slice of the millionaire pie. Get you, your fried catfish. Sidebar, who is still running around risking their life eating catfish? Brown people, come to the front. Come to the front, brown people. Stop risking your life eating catfish. Just saying. Anyways. Yeah, so I'm gonna take her we can go to the Luby's every one Sunday a month. Or whatever it is because some people you can only deal with in doses. We all know those people, right? Some people you can only deal with in doses because they're gonna get on your nerves. They gonna Mama Joyce you. Shout out to Mama Joyce, love you girl, but just saying. Shout out to Candy Birds. Or whomever. That mom that everybody's like, ugh, here she go. But you can't tell her because you can't put her in her place because she's a southern mom. I don't roll like that. I don't roll like that at all. The way I roll is everybody can get it. Try me not. I do not have try me on my forehead. So if you try me, you're going to get what you get. Now, I'm not a disrespectful person. Not at all. I'm actually a sweet soul. Just saying. But I don't believe in this. You said something to me that's derogatory and disrespectful. And because you're older than me, I have to deal with it and accept it. She won't ever be doing that. Please be clear. Her, Chanel, she won't ever be doing that. So if you sign up for that, just sign yourself out. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to keep you on any longer. That's all I had. I just wanted to come on here and talk about this because I believe everything Monique's son is saying. I think that there's a lot of healing that has to take place. I don't know that he's ever going to get it from her because catch how many times he talks about her daddy. So she left him and went and had 2 kids with her daddy. Oh, I cannot. He's saying so much without saying it. And I'm just, Jesus. This is the sad part. I'll say this one last thing. The saddest part about it to me is he clearly is super intelligent. He has emotional intelligence too. Because Erica Jane doesn't. She over there got to use all the people's money, allegedly. And she's still over here mad. Because they took her $1 million earrings that she didn't buy with her money that she earned. I do know that. She didn't earn the money. Now, whether or not the people where it came from, but she didn't earn it. Be clear, Erica. And I like you, but be clear. You sitting over there, girl, it's very narcissistic tendencies. I'm just saying, my opinion. Everything in this video is alleged. Okay, so don't come for me. I ain't got nothing but 2 Louis Vuitton, belts and Chanel. Anyway, thanks guys again for tuning in and liking and subscribing to my channel, liking my videos and subscribing to my channel. Love you, love you, love you. You guys go out there, have a great day. I'm going to go to work now because I have an actual job. But let's get down in the comments and tell me what you think. Do you agree with Monique and what she said? What did you think about what her son said? Do you feel like he read her for filth? Do you think he should have pulled back? Do you think it's time for him to move on? Tell me what you think about it. Just get down in the comments and chat with me. And when I have a break or a moment, I certainly will get down and chat back with you. Be respectful. Don't use profanity at people or be mean-spirited if you can. But protect your energy. Have a great day. Bye. Thanks again for coming to Chanel's Reality.